Strategy is a center point around everything that management does. Best practices on clearly capturing and communicating strategy are strategy maps. So, strategy informs us in terms of how we should manage the business, what our business plan should look like on the financial, strategy, and even human capital side. The strategy should also allow us to filter how we're performing to make sure it's strategically aligned and adding value. And finally, allows us to make intelligent choices about what parts of our business we need to improve our overall operations. The strategy map is how we take a clear picture of that center point of management practices, the strategy. There are a number of best practices around strategy maps. So, for example, strategy maps, introduced to us first by Doctors Kaplan and Norton, has the four perspectives of the balanced scorecard: financial, customer, internal, and enablers. Now, you can rename these if you would like, but the principle is this. In the private sector, your overall goal is to achieve financial success. To do that, you need to understand what your customers want and meet those needs. To do that, we need to have the right internal processes. And to make sure those processes can be maintained and developed over time, we need the right learning and growth, or enablers. Now, public sector is similar to this, but typically we move the financial perspective down to the bottom. The net of it, though, is we should be able to draw a cause and effect diagram like this that describes to your audience what are the strategic objectives which the organization needs to meet, how they link together to create success, and how important they are. Let's talk about the linkage for a second. In this example, this organization feels they need to understand their customers to do two core things. Thing one is, by understanding our customers, we can understand where we need to be working towards creating operating efficiencies without eroding the customer value equation. And secondly, it helps us identify which new products and services we should be investing in. So, understanding our customer allows these objectives to occur. Now, Michael Porter tells us strategy is also about what you stop doing as well as what you start doing. There are many reasons why you might understand your customers, but for this organization, if our understand our customer activities don't lead to those two objectives, we need to refocus our understanding our customer activities so that we're on strategy. Finally, we have to communicate clearly what the priorities are. We do this through a weighting. If this is 100% of our strategy for this year, leadership should be able to guide us towards what our weighting looks like for this current chunk of time. Now, it's important to note the strategy map, the objectives will transcend time. But the weightings will change at least year on year and possibly quarter on quarter based on business and economic trends in your environment. This is a strategy map, the center point of how we communicate strategy to the organization. To learn more about strategy mapping, please join us at pm2consulting.com.